Supernatural follows the story of Detective Wyatt, solving the mystery of the disappearance of Sarah, an old woman working as a housemaid for a young couple who are deeply in debt because of the economy, and they also have a baby on the way. And the husband is also cheating on his fiancée. Something tells me he's gonna end up paying alimony as well, along with all debts. Moving on to the main story, Detective Wyatt soon comes to realize that there is a ghost haunting this house who is asking him to find pieces of the photo so that he can uncover the truth as to what had happened to it. During the search, he comes across an article on the computer inside the house that a woman that he is searching for actually died 3 years ago by self-deletion, which is odd because she was just working for the young couple a few weeks back. So it's safe to assume that it was actually her ghost helping them, and it's the same ghost that's asking Wyatt to uncover the pieces of her demise. After a hard search for the pieces, he finds out that they build up to a photo of a town sheriff who is regarded as the hero of the community that saved a family from a devastating fire a few years back. Just as he finishes reading his article, he hears the doorbell ring and is surprised to see the sheriff himself visiting him, asking him about what's making all this racket. To which Wyatt says that it's him investigating the death of Susan so that his clients get their closure, to which the sheriff replies suspiciously that he'll be back.
What brings you to this house, making all this ruckus? Folks around here can't get a moment's peace.
My apologies, Sheriff. I'm here on behalf of the new residents who requested an investigation into the disappearance of Mrs. Susan, the former occupant of this house.
Mrs. Susan? Bless her soul. She passed away 3 years ago. Why would anyone be poking around her old place now?
Well, Sheriff, sometimes it's a way of lingering. The new residents are concerned, and they just want some closure.
Closure, huh? Well, I reckon that's understandable. But what's with all the noise?
Yes, I'm afraid my investigation can get a bit noisy at times. Just trying to leave no stone unturned, you know?
I suppose I understand. But if you don't mind me asking, why now? Why all this fuss over Mrs. Susan after all these years?
It's my duty to follow up on any leads, Sheriff. Right now, my leads point me to this house.
Well, all right then. I'll leave you to it, Detective. But try to keep it down, will you? Don't need the whole town up in arms over some ghost story.
The suspicion turns out to be true as the sheriff does return, but with a gun instead and screaming at the top of his lungs that he won't let him uncover the truth and that it was her fault for leaving him. Wyatt quickly kills the sheriff and discovers in a closet the dead bodies of Susan and her husband. He takes this matter to the court, who do a thorough investigation, only to find out that it was actually Susan's family that was in that house fire decades back, and the sheriff did not save anyone but instead caused it to kill everyone and covered it up under the guise of saving them. Susan knew this somehow, it's not mentioned, but she refused his advances on her and instead married her new husband, with whom she was also pregnant with. But the sheriff, out of jealousy, killed them both and buried them under the house and made it look like self-deletion. Susan's soul lay trapped in that house, possibly aging, to appear more menacing as it had been mentioned that people were scared away from this house before the couple arrived. She must have changed her mind in haunting the new couple, as the fiancée was pregnant at that time, which must have reminded the ghost of her own unborn child, prompting her to help Wyatt to uncover her truth. Of course, this is just theory and speculation, as the timelines do not match any of the things that I have said, because it would mean that Susan was 80 years old when she was pregnant, which is kind of confusing the least. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.